Hi guys, Michael here. So in my last video I mentioned that I consider myself a maker. And I know a lot of you may not be familiar with that term. So a maker is someone who takes an idea and turns it into reality, and it has a very wide range of fields, and that's the point. It encompasses engineers, it encompasses quilters, artists, musicians, everyone. I fall more towards the mechanical side, and today I want to show you a little bit of what that means for me. So in my last video I mentioned I am currently working on modifications to a Nerf gun, so that is exactly what we will be doing today. So for starters, a few weeks ago I acquired this, the Nerf Delta Trooper. I quite like it. It's basically a rebuild of the Recon CS6, which is a very good Nerf gun a number of years ago. But this is an updated version with a few modifications, few redesigns, and I really like it so far. The only thing I don't like is it feels like it's too short. This stock here is too short. So I said to myself, I'm a maker, I can fix this. So, looking at it, I noticed this seam right here, and I said, I can probably take this apart and see what makes it tick. So, I've already taken it apart, so I'm just going to loosen up the screws. This is my trusty screwdriver that I use for almost everything. Computers, Nerf guns. It's a very good screwdriver. So this part just comes right apart, and you can see that right here is exactly what I wanted. The mounting part and the stock itself has two separate parts, and they just sit inside each other. Just perfect. So I designed these two parts. I measured this all up earlier, and I modeled it here in my trusty old software, SolidWorks. So this is a model of the two parts, the stock and where it mounts to, and in the center I have included my modification, which will add a few, I don't remember the exact measurement, but it will make it longer to the length that I like. So I already printed these two parts, which are nice small parts to check that everything fits. And I already checked they fit almost perfectly. So I went ahead and printed the extensions. I also included on here a clip point, so I can add a belt clip, more or less, so I could throw it over my shoulder. So let's go, without further ado, let's see if I designed this thing properly. That clicks in nice well. That is a bit tighter than I would like, but it fits. Ooh, almost forgot. Go in with that. A little bit tighter than I'd like, but it... Ooh, maybe it doesn't fit. Did I mess up my dimensions? Very well could have. So, slight update. Apparently I wasn't paying too much attention when I did this model. Well, actually, it's not that I wasn't paying attention, it's just that I missed something. Where did that other part go? It's here on the floor. So, if you look in here, right at the end of where this part goes, there's a slight little wall. I omitted that wall in this design. And as a result, I didn't realize when this part was a little bit too long. This part is this one, the extension is 21.5 millimeters. This one I modeled at 26. It's 4.5 millimeters too long, which means it's 4.5 millimeters past that wall. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to mark point 4.5 millimeters back and cut off the end. I don't like doing that on a 3D printed part, but This was a 5-hour print. It's better than having to reprint the whole thing. So I'm going to start on that. Okay, so finished cutting these parts, and I've made a mess of my desk, but they're now cut down to length, and they both fit. So now this whole thing should go together as planned. And yes, that fits perfect. I'll just tighten those down. So, with that, my extension is now mounted. Although it's a bit loose, it's solid. And now, don't tell me. Well, that's a pain. It doesn't fit now. How many times can I screw this project up? That is going to require me really cutting. I have to cut that wall. The internal should have enough clearance. I'll be back when I figure this out. So, this doesn't fit, and I know exactly why. Problem is that the wall here should have a hole through it, and it doesn't. So, I have to make a hole. What that means is I have to take this apart again, then tack it with a hacksaw again, then hit it with a hammer. And no, the hammer is not overkill. That's actually part of the plan. This is a 3D printed part, and 3D printed parts are really strong within the layer where the plastic is a solid strip, but between layers you have just the interlay or between layer bond, which is usually weaker than the bond between the bond of the layer itself. So what I can do is take this out. What I can do is cut perpendicular to the layers at that wall, and then use the hammer to break it off at the layer. That should be enough for me to break open that wall. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this marker and mark where I need to cut this open. Hopefully that will be sufficient. If not, I guess I'm going to be doing something else. So yeah, I guess we're going back to the time lapse. Okay, so that is done. And just to be clear, no, I did not cut myself. That is not blood. That is just red Sharpie. See? Red Sharpie. Although on other projects I do occasionally get a bit happy with the knife, and or that's actually a very poor choice of words, but yeah. So now let's see if this works as intended this time. Now before I mount the whole thing, I am going to take this, make sure that it slides on. Perfect. Should work this time. Let's go ahead, button it up, all perfect like. So that slides into there. And I should put this in first. Slides in there. That pops in behind. This pops right over the top, and then everything gets tightened back down. Okay, so now that that's all buttoned down, perfect. That is the length I wanted. Good, 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 good. So, as I mentioned, I added this clip so I could add a belt and sling this over my back. The problem is I don't have anywhere on the front side to mount it. So that's next. So before I got around to CADing and printing that part, my roommate pointed out something very important, being that I already have a point here and here for me to attach a strap. So this piece was pointless. Well, not, I mean this little clip right here. That was pointless. So I can take that off, and that's actually good because that's like right up my nose. So I can just break that off. So yeah. Nice sharp edges for me to cut my face on later. But yeah, unfortunately I don't yet have a strap for this. But yeah, now that that part is added, that is the extent of the modifications I have planned for this at the current moment. I'm thinking about modifying this, adding something down here to make it either a pump action or a lever action, but I haven't done that yet. So until I get around to that, that is the extent of my modding on this. So with that said, that's the extent of that mod for now. I do have plans to repaint it, as well as make some internal mods, but that's the only modding I'll be doing today. To my own surprise, I actually got this done in one day. One day build that actually happened in a day. That never happens. I should have worn my one day build shirt, but I didn't. Oh well. Well, thank you for watching. I am very happy that this turned out the way I wanted. It is just the right length. Perfect, perfect, perfect. So, I'm very happy with this. So, thank you for watching. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and if you're interested in more videos like this video if you enjoyed it. Please share it with your friends if you think that it's something they will enjoy. And until next time, my name is Michael. See you then.